Welcome, welcome. We're going to jump right into it because I know we might be a little short on time. So my name is Byron Qiao. I'm with CG Pro. We're an online school for Unreal Engine as well as other real-time technologies. And I'm joined with my friend Onur. He's a 3D generalist as well as a filmmaker. And we're going to be showing you guys, we're going to be talking about some workflows that we use personally, showing some of our work and showing a little bit of a demonstration of the Rokoko Mocap with Unreal Engine. All right, so let's get right into it. The main theme I want to convey to you guys today is that it has never been easier to get into real time and to be a creator. And these are the 3 reasons why. Number 1 is we have accessible tools, such as the Rokoko motion capture system, such as Unreal Engine, Blender, which is free, by the way. On top of that, we have real time. So what does real time mean? 10 years ago, if you were into VFX like I was, I kind of dabbled a little bit into VFX. And I remember it was so difficult because I just wasn't patient enough to wait for a rendering of these clips. But now it's all different because with Unreal, you can see iterations and changes immediately. So for a creator, that's super powerful because now I can see my environment change. I can, drop in a different character, even try different animations all in real time. And so it allows a greater flow of creativity. The third thing that I think has changed, in the last 10 years, I would say, is gradually changed this, which is there are no more barriers to education. Okay, you can learn everything that we're doing right now on YouTube. There's tons of tutorials by creators that are giving back to the community, master classes. And if you guys want deeper education, there's schools like CG Pro where we do live courses. We do hands-on training. We have live demos, and it's taught by industry professionals. And these people like Ed, he worked on The Lion King, The Jungle Book, a big show. So he's bringing that professional knowledge and experience to teaching how these workflows work. You don't need to go to, Duke University or these really expensive universities. You can actually learn everything either for free or at minimal cost. Onur is the perfect example. I'm gonna let him talk a little bit. Go ahead.
Talking about no barriers to education, I didn't go to any kind of 3D school or any animation school. I'm a filmmaker like Byron. And during the COVID times, I couldn't make films, but I still wanted to keep telling stories and make films. So I started learning Blender. So this was like 3.5 years ago. And you hopefully you'll see from the reels we are about to play. It's possible to learn. I learned everything from YouTube just on my own, and I use Blender. It's a free program. I used before I had the suit, you can use Rokoko's video technology. It's free. You can just use any camera. I use a webcam for some of the animations you'll see. And it was all created for using free tools and in my bedroom studio.
All right, we're going to play some animation. The first reel you'll see is some stuff that I kind of messed around with and I made. So keep in mind, I only got into VFX and 3D in the last 2.5 years. And that's while having a full-time job and everything. The second one is going to be from Onur. It's going to be a lot better, but. Thank you. Okay, now you guys are going to be in for a treat here. Okay, play. There we go. One more time. Follow him on Instagram, Blend Dreams.
Thank you.
All right. So let's go to the next slide here. Oh. Okay. So if you look here on the screen on my left here, you'll see for me personally, I use mostly Unreal, but I use Rokoko as well as Move AI, which is an iPhone-based app. You can literally get Mocap with a single iPhone within minutes into Unreal, and that's how I animated some of those characters. With Character Creator 4, that's a character creating software, so you don't need to model and sculpt your character. You can have a sort of like a template, and then from there you can customize it however you want, change the texture, change hair, endless possibilities. Kitbash 3D, that's a great resource because they create custom kits, right? Like with different themes like atomic punk, medieval, you name it, tons of these. And with that, you can bring in one of their kits and then you could take pieces from that kit and make it into your own original world. And that's how Onur created a lot of those environments. He didn't have to create that from scratch. That would take, months, if not years, to do that, like from scratch. So that was the misconception that I had when I first got into 3D, that I would have to create everything, and I'm not a 3D modeler or anything, Onur, do you want to talk a little bit about your workflow?
Yeah, I also approach 3D like a filmmaker. I don't see it as, I'm not for example, we're going to talk about the Rokoko suit. I'm not an animator, and animating characters like that would have taken, just for that 5-10 second little clips, would have taken me months probably, because I have no idea how to animate. But with Mocap, you can just wear it, move around, and then you have it. Of course, you have to clean it up. It's not just move around and that's done. You still have to do a little bit of cleanup. But if you don't know any animation, this helps a lot. It gets you like 90% way there. You just do a bit of correction. And same thing with Kitbash 3D. You don't have to know how to model. You don't have to create those things. If you have a story in mind and you just want to tell that story, these tools just allow you to get there quicker, like a filmmaker. You go out and scout locations. In there, you can create the locations. I always tell my filmmaker friends, it's like exactly like filmmaking, but you can move mountains.
One thing I really want to say is that when I was a filmmaker making live action film, there were always limitations to what I could make. I don't have millions of dollars, so my stories were only limited to certain locations, certain types of stories. But my favorite genres are like science fiction, fantasy, horror. When I found out about Unreal Engine and what you could do with this, it completely opened up the possibilities, because now I can tell any story and create any character. The only limitation was my imagination. Here, I'm going to open up Unreal Engine right here. I've got a little scene set up. These are Kitbash 3D assets from the Havana theme. And I've got a character of mine. He's a metahuman. Let me see if I can. Oh. This is a metahuman. So if you guys don't know what a metahuman is, it's a free integration with Unreal where they create these photorealistic humans. And I actually took a 3D mesh of my own head that I scanned with the iPhone. I brought that into Unreal and I made it into a metahuman. And now I'm going to open up Rokoko software.
Connected.
So unfortunately, because of the setup here, we couldn't get the suit to connect, but I will show you guys basically how it works. After this demo, I can show you guys offline once I connect it to my router, the actual live stream. But 1 second here.
From the videos, almost all the characters were animated using either this suit. I have a medium. This is a large, it's fallen off of me. It was animated either using the suit or, like I said, just a webcam, and then I just recorded myself in the bedroom just moving around, and I corrected a bit, and you can get like very intricate moves with it.
So the way that
as an animator,
the suit, it's an inertial motion capture suit, so it uses sensors that are made from gyroscope, accelerometer, and magnetometer. So that's different from a traditional mocap system where you go into an actual studio and there's like cameras everywhere. They wear little dots on their faces. Those are like super expensive. I'm talking about $50,000 to $100,000, and you need all the specialists there to run it. It's very difficult to do. This suit, well, this is not the best example today, but normally in my bedroom, I just connect that suit to a Wi-Fi router that I have sitting in the corner somewhere, and you can get motion capture without cameras or anything. You just need a little bit of space.
We can also get a facial motion capture with this thing. You've probably seen similar things to this. You can put your iPhone here, and if you see MetaHuman Animator, it's mind-blowing. It can get like little details of your face. If your face is not symmetrical, it can get that, like the character's lip would be asymmetrical like yours. That's an Unreal Engine, and it's completely free, and it's mind-blowing to me.
All right, so here we go. Now we have a live stream into Unreal. This is a plugin within Unreal. And by the way, Unreal Engine is free for those that don't know about this. You can see my MetaHuman here. He's animated already. Oh. Okay, so this is from a pre-made animation. However, if this was connected, it would be live streaming exactly like this, right? I've got the data streaming into Unreal. And why this specific feature is really great is that I can see my character already in the environment that I've built, and I can very quickly see if I want to make that animation or not. Maybe I want him to do a different motion. And then when I'm happy with what I want, then I can record it. Right? So this is a very quick way to get a prototype going. It's live streamed, and there's other uses for this as well. You can do immersive experiences, which I'm going to show you in the next video. Where's that little clicker?
Right here.
So I don't know if you guys noticed in the beginning, that little kid was actually interacting with this avatar. I wonder if I can go back. Oh. So the little kid was like doing some dance, and the avatar was copying him. And the way we did this, the exact same setup, we had Rokoko, Unreal Engine, but we had it set up behind a curtain where the attendees could not see where we were. And then as people came into this big NFT exhibit, they would see this hologram machine called the proto hologram, and they would be like, oh, what's going on here? And then the avatar would like copy, or pose for a photo. And it took a while for people to catch on that this thing was actually interacting with them. And especially with the little kids, it was really cool to see once they kind of caught on to that. And we had a camera that was mounted on top of that hologram machine that allowed a live feed to the mocap actors, so that they could see what they're doing, and I would be directing those mocap actors to be like, hey, now do this kind of dance or do this motion. This was in Tokyo, so I flew out to Tokyo, and this was for Artifact. They're a big NFT company that's owned by Nike, and we did a collaboration with a big Japanese artist named Murakami, who had an art show going on basically in the same convention center. So there are a lot of possibilities of what you can do with this. It's really just up to you guys to go out there and, use your imagination. I'll, I guess, open it up to some questions since we're probably out of time. Right. So the question was, if you can't do some actions, right, like a backflip or, I don't know, maybe your kick wasn't high enough, the mocap is really just a base level of animation. It's not going to get you 100% there. You're still going to do some kind of animation, which they call cleanup, on top of the mocap. Yeah, that's where you can extend your legs or jump really high. So yeah, you can definitely learn it. It's not like super easy, but like I said, there are no more barriers to education. So there are, and that actually is a good segue into my next slide here.
It's just like learning keyframes. It's like you punched there, but you wanted to punch there. You just hold the hand and then move it up, and then that plays.
With the tools, all you need is knowledge and support. Okay, here's the plug for CG Pro. 100% live courses. If YouTube tutorials aren't doing it for you, which I did all of the tutorials, and at a certain point, I needed to level up faster and with like professional support. That's when I started with CG Pro as a student. Before I worked with them, I was a student first. I took all their classes. And it's not just the education. You're joining a community of artists, professionals that work at major studios. There were guys like old school, VFX guys in the class with me, right? Where I can learn from them. So it's pretty much like you're in school, but it's all remote, people from all over the world. And you get ongoing support after those classes where you can still ask questions. There's, a Facebook group. People will come in and answer those questions. We do free webinars all the time. We have tons of resources online that we're always, putting out. So definitely follow us. And actually, you can scan this QR code right now and be entered into a raffle for a free course. So give it a shot. For Rokoko, if you use that code, it doesn't expire. You can use it anytime. Whenever you guys want to get into all this stuff, you can use that promo code and get a small discount on any of their products. And guys, I'll leave this up for a little bit so you guys can get that. Onur, did you want to do any closing statements?
Closing statements. I'll add just a little bit more on creating with 3D. Like I said, I had no experience 3 years ago, and I started learning on my own. And then there was this guy I look up to. He has like 12 years in 3D, and I'm like, I never get to that level. When I'm like 10 years into it, he's gonna be 22 years into it. He's always gonna be better than me. He's always gonna have the better technical skills. But it's not about technical skills, because art is not a competition, and it's just, if you want to tell the story you want to tell, just tell it the way you want to tell. And as you tell it, you'll get better at it. And that's just how I started. I just, find some free models, put them in there, move with cameras, and then in 3 years' time, I was here.
Okay, I think we have time for some questions. One more.
That's the guy.
Right, so his question is about magnetic interference with specifically for these inertial motion capture suits. That is an issue. However, I would say in the last year or so, it has greatly improved. They did some updates. So I guess you can't really see right now because we're not live with it. But I'm happy to show you a demo like on the side. I don't know about this. There's huge pieces of metal in here. So this could be an issue, although that's where we did the Tokyo event. You can see it's the same kind of structure. We did have some interference, but luckily we were able to find like one little sweet spot that kind of worked. I do this around metal all the time. TVs, we're inside studios. It's not a big issue, but you do want to be mindful of that. Yes. Did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I can just quickly answer from personal experience. We tried this in a studio where the ceiling is low and a lot of metal. It works. Sometimes it disconnects. In my bedroom studio, which is just my bedroom, I had no issues. And I'm connecting to a shared Wi-Fi, and it still works great. And the Wi-Fi is like behind the wall. Surprisingly works well.
A question here?
Side spike or sweet spot, is there anything you can do to minimize that?
For magnetic interference specifically, it's really just being aware. And it's really only big pieces of metal. Like if you're in an industrial warehouse or something, and I don't know, maybe there's rebar or something, or maybe I was doing a demo once and I didn't realize that right behind me was a big piece of sheet metal until I was like, oh, okay, that's why it's not connecting. But yeah.
Also metal props. Like if your actors has metal props and they hold it, the hand might disconnect because it's close to the hand.
Yeah, but only if it's like a really big piece of metal. If there's like a little bit of metal, it's not an issue. Hey, you're welcome. All right, any other questions before we? Huh? Yeah, the suit for full motion captures, the full system, it's a little bit less than 4,000.
It's the suit, it's the gloves, and the head rig, I believe.
Oh yeah, show the head rig. So with the iPhone, you can put it on here, and it does facial capture as well. But like I said, we're actually doing another demo at the AMD booth on Monday on a LED screen. So definitely come by. We'll get that going for you guys. And hey, I have a couple extra suits if you want to jump in one. Happy to play around.